Hello, students! Today, we are going to explore a very beautiful and thought-provoking story from your syllabus, A Letter to God, written by G.L. Fuentes. Now, let's begin with this question, because this is the central idea of our story today. It's a question that makes us think, what is the nature of true faith? We will follow the story's journey through these 6 parts. This will help us to understand it completely, step by step. So first, let's meet our main character, Lencho. And to understand Lencho, we must first understand the world he lives in. I want you all to visualize this scene. Just picture it in your mind. There's a valley, and on top of a small hill, there is a single house, the only house in the entire valley. From there, a farmer named Lencho can see his river and his field of ripe corn dotted with flowers. It all promises a very good harvest, but there's just one thing missing. A good shower of rain. Now, let's see how Lencho's simple hope for rain turns into a very great challenge for him. Fate takes a very sudden turn. Listen to the happiness in Lencho's voice here. When the rain begins, he is overjoyed. He compares the raindrops to new coins. Now, why does he do that? Because for a farmer, a good rain means a good harvest, and a good harvest means more money. So for him, these raindrops are literally like money falling from the sky. But sadly, this happy moment does not last long. The rain suddenly turns into a hailstorm. Large hailstones begin to fall, and for an entire hour they rain down on his field. The entire cornfield is destroyed, leaving absolutely nothing behind. The field looks so white, it was as if someone had covered it with salt. Now think about this. In this moment of complete helplessness, when nature has destroyed everything, what is Lencho's reaction? It is not anger. It is not despair. It is a calm and a very strong belief. His single hope was help from God. And this unshakable faith, this belief, leads Lencho to do something truly remarkable, something you wouldn't expect. He decides to write a letter, a simple, direct letter to God. In this letter, he explains his problem and he asks for exactly 100 pesos so that he can sow his field again and feed his family until the next crop comes. Now, let's imagine the scene at the post office. A postman is sorting the letters, and he finds this one with a very strange address. To God. He has never seen such an address in his career. He starts laughing and takes it to his boss, the postmaster. But how does the postmaster react? His reaction is very important, and it becomes the turning point of our story. Let's see. You see, the postmaster also laughs at first, but then he becomes serious. He is deeply moved, deeply impressed by Lencho's faith. He says, "What faith?" and wishes he had the same kind of faith. He decides then and there that he must not let this man's belief be broken. So he comes up with an idea to help. He decides to answer the letter, not with words, but with money. He asks his employees to contribute, he himself gives a part of his salary, and he collects money from his friends as an act of charity. Now, even though he tried his very best, he was unable to collect the full 100 pesos. He could only gather 70 pesos, which was a little more than half the amount Lencho had asked for. He puts the 70 pesos in an envelope and sends it to Lencho. And to protect the farmer's faith, he signs the letter with just one single word, God. He wants Lencho to believe that his prayer has been answered directly by God himself. So, now we come to the climax of the story. Let's pause for a moment and think. How will Lencho react when he gets the money? What do you think? To understand the ending properly, we must first understand the concept of irony. Irony is a situation that is the opposite of what you expect. For example, a fire station burning down would be ironic. Keep this in mind as we see what happens next. Lencho receives the letter the following Sunday. And his faith is so strong that he's not at all surprised to see the money inside. He was expecting it, but his reaction changes when he counts the money. He becomes angry. Why? Because it's less than what he had asked for. You see, in Lencho's simple mind, God is perfect. God could not have made a mistake in counting the money, and God would never deny his request. So he concludes that someone else must be at fault. And here is the great irony of the story. He immediately writes a second letter to God. In it, he asks for the remaining 30 pesos, but he adds a warning. Don't send it through the mail. And why? He says it's because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks and must have stolen the money. He accuses the very people who so kindly helped him. That is the irony. All right, so let's conclude by summarizing the important themes and character traits from the story. This part is very important for your exams. These are the main ideas the story explores. First, there's Lencho's unquestioning faith in God. Then there is the theme of humanity and kindness, shown by the postmaster. We also see the conflict between man and nature with the hailstorm. And finally, the conflict between humans themselves because of a misunderstanding. So, if we have to describe Lencho's character, we can say he is 1. Very hardworking. The book calls him an ox of a man. 2. He is deeply faithful, with a simple childlike belief in God. And 3. He is also naive, which means he is innocent and does not understand the ways of the world. And so, this story leaves us with a very important question to think about in our own lives. How can we have strong faith, but at the same time also recognize and be grateful for the human kindness that is all around us? It's something for all of us to reflect on.